So it's around about that time of the month again when we start to self-reflect on the previous chapter, start to self-reflect on our own emotions and thoughts and take what we know from the previous chapter and try to force it into a tunnel for what is to come in the upcoming one. Where does the story go from here? How does the previous chapter influence the upcoming one? Funny enough, the previous chapter sparked a little bit of controversy. It's actually probably not as big as controversy, but it sparked a bit of a issue among a lot of different people. There was somewhat of a split within the community on whether they enjoyed the chapter or if they generally didn't like it. They felt that a lot of things were out of place, and it's perfectly okay to feel the way you do, whether you like the chapter or not. One thing that was globally kind of recognized is the whole super squad, the coming together of different people from different places with different agendas to take down a bigger threat. This super squad, or the Avengers squad, or whatever you want to call it at this point, is a rather fearsome group. It has been teased for quite a bit of time, not every single person within it, as it's a rather massive group to what I originally suspected it to be. But even though the group is bigger, it's got more power, it's got a lot of intelligent people within it, how does this translate to the upcoming chapter? How does this translate to taking on Eren specifically? Over the month, I've been thinking about Eren Jaeger, the idea of him pretty much being Jesus at this point, or God, whatever you kind of believe in and what you want to connect him to, but he is an almighty being with almighty powers that can pseudo-create life, ? I say it like that just because we don't really know the extent of his abilities and what he's capable of, or more importantly, his knowledge. What does he know? Can he create titans out of scratch? Kind of similar to how Ymir done it. Does he know that he has all of the abilities that Ymir has? What if there was like a ability that Ymir didn't know she had? Would Eren know she had that? There's a lot of questions that take place within that, and that's yet to be answered on where Eren sits regarding Ymir's abilities and whether he's a legitimate replacement to her, which I do think is the case. I've been saying it for quite a bit of time, and I'm very, I don't want to say confident within it, but I'm also hoping that the story goes in this direction with Eren being the person to replace Ymir, as the previous chapters, the ones focusing around Ymir and how she was locked and caged into this place, was such a powerful moment within the story, setting her free from her shackles. It's pretty much the embodiment of what Attack on Titan's story is, and she is the core of it all. She's the foundation. So to set her free, finally, after all of these years, and Eren to potentially take her place, to double back on that and change that meaning, I think would be extremely redundant. It'd actually be rather disappointing. Since that period of chapters, since that massive reveal and the beautiful yet tragic emotion surrounding it, I have been on board with the idea that Eren has fully replaced her. He's not just using her abilities, he's not just channeling her, he's legitimately set her free, and he is in her position. When I started to think about that more and more, I started to elaborate on it and kind of spin off some ideas from it. One that kept popping up in my mind is that, does Eren even exist anymore? Does Eren actually have a physical human body? If so, where would that human body be? And is he in control of it? Now, at first thought, that may sound extremely weird. Like, why would that be a thing? The biggest idea that fuels that for me is Eren creating his own Titan. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's creating it from the place that he is actually in, which is Ymir's place, which is now effectively kind of his, once we get the answers for it. If Ymir could create titans out of nothing, is what Eren's creating some sort of capsule for him? Is his human body in the center of that titan? Does his human body even exist? Is he creating that titan out of literally nothing? Is that titan legitimately him? The questions are all kind of along the same lines as one another, but the details for them, the importance for them, is the stuff that's thrown up in the air. Very little details, but rather important. With the knowledge of these answers, what this titan is, where Eren's human body is, and how much is he entwined with Ymir's place. The more I kept reflecting on that, the more I feel that we're going down the path that he's going to be stuck in that place, that he won't be able to leave it, because within that place, within that realm, he is unstoppable. If he holds as much power as we think he does, that place that he is in, the things that he could create, the things that he could take away, is almost unlimited. The amount of corrections and formulas that he could create for the Eldian bloodline, the things that he could recorrect, is rather endless. The thing is, I don't feel like he knows about these abilities, nor do I feel like he ever really had to. Eren being pushed by emotion, being backed into a corner himself, is the product of what's happening right now. The cycle of hatred that has been continuing for so long has pushed Eren into this corner. He searched for a lot of other options, and nothing has really seemed fruitful. Nothing would even bear any sort of fruit. So this is the option, with the time that he has, with the power that he has, with the plan that he's put in motion, with the future memories and foresights that he has seen. This is the future that is going to be worked towards. And it's not a problem that he has caused. He's a casualty within all of this, but he's also an anomaly. Someone that knows the outcome, someone that has seen what is going to happen. If he has potentially seen all of this, or even parts of all of it, then we know that the direction that Eren's going in is a self-tailored one. And I don't mean in the sense of him destroying all life on Earth. I don't mean in the sense of him destroying billions upon billions of people. The self-tailored direction is him getting to a certain point that he knows he has to get to change something, but not kill everyone, and that he himself can still be stopped. And faithfully, it would be by his Super Avenger Squad, the people that have grouped up in the previous chapter. If he's seen outcomes for this, or bits and pieces, then it's somewhat self-tailored. If he's working from a different point, kind of similar to Ymir within that place, then he may already be stuck within it. He may not be able to come out and play, as much as people believe. What we're seeing is Eren creating somewhat of a capsule or a body for him, something that he can work within. But could he continue to live in this place now that he's potentially replaced Ymir? I don't know. The only thing that would really clarify that, if that was possible, that you could exist with all that power within that place and then be pulled out of it and live within the moment, within the real time, is if we seen like a little Ymir running around. But we haven't seen anything from her. And if we're leading towards the ending of the story and potentially Historia's child, it'd be very beautiful, and a lot of people have talked about it, that Historia would name the child Ymir, as Historia's friend was named Ymir, and it would symbolize that Ymir has been reborn back into the world. And if we theorize that, Eren has replaced her and won't be leaving that place anytime soon. If he's going to create some sort of human body, it'd either be within that place because he holds all the power within it, or it's a Titan body within the real world. At least at this moment, it's kind of difficult for me to think that we'll see Eren in a human form of some kind within the real world. We may see the Titan form, we may see a evolved human form per se, or an evolved Titan form, which is currently what's being built, which is obnoxiously huge. But if we do get some sort of human form, it's most likely going to be within the place that is Ymir. And if I take you all the way back to chapter 1 when Mikasa was saying goodbye to Eren, this could be in that moment. That the final goodbyes, or the final confrontation, or the final fight, maybe I shouldn't say fight, but the final confrontation, the final talking point for two of these characters, most likely Armin and Mikasa, is going to be within that place. And they're going to confront a humanoid Eren, as they can't confront him on the battlefield, which makes a lot of sense when you put it into motion, that they have so much power within that Super Squad group to deal with the Titan that Eren is building at this point, and to deal with some of the Wall Titans and other Titans surrounding it. They have a lot of power and they have a lot of intelligence, but they also have a lot of people within that group that can communicate with Eren, that can connect with him on an emotional level. So they have power and they have emotional connection. If you mix the two together, they don't need to take place at the same time. The only people that realistically have to talk to Eren in some way, shape or form is Armin and Mikasa, because they have the most history with him and they are a family. They've been through a lot of things with each other, and if it's anyone that could get through Eren on some sort of emotional level, it is those two. So that goodbye Eren that we see in chapter 1, that is a flash forward to some degree from Mikasa, could actually be Eren being stuck in that place and sending Armin and Mikasa back, and that is their somewhat final goodbye. I've pretty much been constantly walking down this line for quite a bit of time now, and I've come to the acceptance to some degree, depending on new information that gets released, that Eren's going to be stuck within this place. one of the biggest things that helps me feel okay with that is that this place itself is called Freedom. Every character that has ever been to it, or at least before Eren pulled everyone in, everyone looked at Ymir's place and called it Freedom. The Jaw Titan Ymir, but also Eren's father. So far it works rather hand in hand with the story, and it's obviously missing a big chunk of what's to come for the outcome of the human race. Does a portion of Mali get destroyed? What happens to the cycle of hatred? Do we alter it? Do we skewer it? Do we slow it down? Does it change? Does it disappear? Probably none of those things. That's what makes Attack on Titan and Hajime Isayama extremely unpredictable, is that we really don't know where he's going with this story. And then even though we're getting so closer and closer to the ending of it, we still really cannot put our finger on the outcome for it. We can't put our finger on the outcome for Eren Jaeger, and we can't put our finger on the outcome for the rest of humanity and the cycle of hatred. How far does this truly go? Has Eren been setting things up since the beginning? Does he know how far he has to push before people can come in and stop him with power, with emotional manipulation to some degree, or just connecting with him emotionally, just understanding him? There's a lot of things that have to be fueled. There's a lot of questions that need answers, and over the next couple of chapters we'll probably slowly get them. I'm excited to see how the new Super Squad starts to move from here, how they start to formulate a plan and want to deal with the main body that is Eren Jaeger, the Titan that he has built. I think we're leading very closely towards that, and I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen Eren's Titan form in the upcoming chapter. At this rate, only time will tell, but I'm sure everyone is extremely excited. So with that being said, that is basically it. Let me know what you feel like is going to happen in the upcoming chapter. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, but I'm actually going to end the video off here. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.